YouTube, what's going on? We're back with some more of the First Descendant. Got some more solo hard mode content for you here. This is with Viessa. This is her Cold-Bloodedness mobbing build. So I really like this build just because it's a variation of her bossing. Cold-Bloodedness primarily for Viessa is used for bossing. So it's nice to flip the script a little bit, you know, do a little bit of a mobbing build with this. So it runs at 400%. It's viable. It's fun to use. You get to drop your blizzard, nuke the map like pretty much constantly. So yeah, you guys like what you see here. You appreciate the video. You know, please sub to the channel. And as always, smash that like button. Alright, so this is my updated Viessa Cold-Bloodedness mobbing build, or the Bloody mobbing build. This is post-buff, so all of the damage durations, the extra damage to Cold Snap Watch will apply. Again, Cold-Bloodedness, you lose your Frost Road, so we don't move around as much, so we lose that 30% movement buff. But as you'll see, obviously in the video of the run of Magister's Lab, what you lose in movement speed, you gain in just sheer skill cooldown and damage, and just being able to drop your 4-year blizzard like it's just like a normal skill is it's insane. This mobbing build, I think it's my favorite build, just because you don't have to worry about dying, just because the blizzard is you can drop it whenever you want and just wipe the map. It's super. This is another just fun build for Viessa, and they gave her the buffs, the durations. The duration ticks are down, the damage intervals are down. So yeah, all good for Viessa. This is another great build. This is just a variation of the bossing build. So again, Cold-Bloodedness mobbing build. To start with the reactor, again, you want an ultimate reactor. That's just the way it is for the season. I don't have a good ultimate reactor when it comes to like using it for a mobbing build. I do have one for taking down bosses. So again, I do like the role that I have here with the skill cost and the skill critical hit damage. The skill critical hit damage, I think, is mandatory just because we're spec so heavily into the critical hit rate. And when it comes to the your second one, I like skill cost. Again, it keeps my skill cost down. A skill cooldown, skill duration, I think those are all viable options as well. I mean, what am I gonna say? I mean, even getting a chill attack, I mean, anything that's just gonna synergize well to give you damage output or a little bit of like reduction in some skill, go for it. Again, this is just the best reactor that I currently have to run as far as a mechanics reactor. I do have another sub again with skill duration and skill cost down in the gold, so I got so reactors. But again, I think skill critical hit damage and some cooldown or duration is where you want to be at for the roll. Again, running a tactical rifle just to take advantage of the skill power. Viessa, don't even fire her weapon once. That's just not how she rolls in the 400s. So make sure you just take advantage of the roll with it. I mean, I am working on guns, could go over a build, but again, it's not even viable for Viessa and what I'm about to show. I'm running the 2-piece polar and the 2-piece annihilation. Again, taking advantage, speccing into the skill duration and the chill skill power. So those are nice little bumps, and again, it's the max HP that I'm going for the survivability. So it's also in the mods that I'll go over. But again, we're running 20,000 HP. We don't have very much defense. All really spec'd into HP. That's pretty comfy though on the HP. That's a nice little bump to the HP there. So that's kind of where I run it. I mean, those are just my rolls. That I have. This is the best ones that I was able to get. I do have some variations of it, just that spec into more resistance, like chill and fire, I believe. But yeah, these are the ones I like to run. Again, more HP in there, MP recovery, shield recovery out of combat. Again, MP recovery in combat, MP recovery modifier. Anything to keep the MP up, so you can just keep blasting the spells, HP up, so you can just survive without even having to worry about dying. So that's the logic behind that build there. Again, for the Cold-Bloodedness mobbing. Again, I'm not going to go into the weapons. I'm working on a Greg Spade, and my Scav is almost fully decked out, but don't even again use it. I think don't fire a single shot in the Magister's Lab run with this build. This is the Cold-Blooded mobbing build, or the Bloody mobbing build. So with Cold-Bloodedness, again, when using the skill, increases the skill power and decreases the skill cost and cooldown. Frost roads are not created when moving, so we do not create frost roads. That's our number 2 skill. So we do not get, you know, the additional movement speed. So you're definitely slower. But like I said, it's a fair trade-off for it. So popping this, it's under a 21-second duration. It's huge. It's under a 7.9% cooldown. So the crux behind this is you pop this, and then you just blast them with this, and then you watch the cooldown after 21 seconds, and you just keep dropping this. I mean, you can fire these in between, but you just keep, as soon as this number, you just always make sure you have mana to keep dropping the 4, because this skill, you keep this up and you drop this, you're maximizing the absolute power out of this. You'll see in this video here too, there's so much mana to go around. I could just keep spamming these skills over and over and over again, and these are all buffed by the Cold-Bloodedness Transcendent module. So what you see here isn't even reflective of the skill being utilized, because it has to be popped for it to be brought into effect. So it says a 19-second cooldown on this. That's half, an 8-second cooldown. So 8-second cooldown. That's really good. Obviously, but again, it's not reflected in the stats. You have to be in battle to pop it, and then you'll notice that these things just start dropping like crazy. So 2.2. I mean, it just comes back almost instantaneously for the other ones. And again, Cold Snap Watch received that, you know, skill power buff. That's at 3,000%. I mean, between the two of these skills dropping, and then the damage interval rate going from 2-second ticks, as you can see there, it's now down to 1 second at 6. And I'm pretty sure that little bit of duration, which is important, having it over the mark of 6 gives me the extra tick. So it'll tick for 7 instead of 6. I believe that's how it works out, because it registers that as the next second over, I do gain the extra tick. That's how it was working, at least before the buff, when it was down to a 2-second damage tick interval and you were only getting 3 ticks per second. Like this, now that you're getting like 6 to 7 ticks on this thing, on the damage interval, is just crazy. And again, just repeatedly dropping it. So that's the crux behind it. Just make sure this is continuously popped. You know, wait 21 seconds. You know, you'll be able to watch the dial cool down and just keep dropping your 4 when it comes down. You'll nothing stays on the map. Completely deletes the map. Mid-air maneuvering, again, you can put whatever module it in, just take advantage of the extra module capacity. Survivability, max increased HP amplification. Take a little bit of you know, a hit on the shields on this one, but we negate that with another mod that I'll go over. Once you have your survivability, you want your skill cooldown. That's your MP conversion at 36%, nimble fingers at 25%. You'll then want to spec into your range, which is the amplification control. This is the mod that negates the negative status effect on the shields there. Again, you know, there's variations to the build. This is the one I like to use. I feel like this gives me enough range. Some of the other mods, there's a negative power multiplier. I won't go into it. I think I went into it in another video. Amplification control is what I like to use. That's my personal preference. Again, these are all my personal preferences. Just the build that works for me. You know, there's other variations, like I said, for sure, that will slap. I'm sure just as good. Amplification control for the range, and then skill expansion again for additional range. Viessa needs that because her range initially is just not very good on her ability. So specking into range is an absolute must for sure on that. And then once you have those two down, you'll want to go into a little bit of power and some skill cooldown. So I like the focus on chill. You can go on, I think, just straight chill one, like for a little bit of an increase. It's not even that much. So I like having the skill cooldown. Focus on chill is where I'm at with that. And then this is where we really start to spec into the multipliers that Viessa received the you know, the buffs for in the season. So the skill critical hit rate is what we really want to spec into that. So emergency measure is a good little side note because it also specs into the damage, so it kind of helps them both, but it majority into the skill critical hit rate, and then fully into skill critical hit rate with skill insight. So we're maximizing the absolute potential that we can with survivability, cooldowns, damage, to really just put this build out for instead of making it a bossing build, a really devastating mobbing build. So once we have those in play for the critical hits, we just have the MP collector on. This thing is just huge. The amount of mana it drops, you don't even have to worry about. This is where you just continuously bombing everybody, picking up mana, casting skill after skill after skill. It's just super fun to use. This, again, another absolutely fantastic build for Viessa. I'm glad she got buffed.